Good evening or good morning. Welcome to Fortune's Hiding Down Under TV. We are back and we're here to talk about all things West Ham. I've got Dave and Nate with me. Evening, gents. How are you both?
Good, mate.
Good, thanks, mate.
Good. Yeah, I'm all right. King is on holiday again. Seriously beginning to question his commitment to the cause.
Yeah.
He's over in... He's on a pre-holiday, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Across the ditch.
Over in New Zealand for a wedding, and then he's going back to England next week, I think. So look, we'll get into it. We're here to obviously talk about the upcoming Brentford game on Monday, which seems like a long way away. We've got the Europa League draw happening tomorrow, I think. And obviously there's a lot going on with in the life of a West Ham fan anyway. So look, I'm in a pretty good mood. I'll be honest. I was just saying to Nate, it's the week's not been too bad. You know, I feel like I've had a fucking whinge the last couple of shows I've been on. I'm not feeling any better about the situation, but I'm not going to let it get me down. You know, so let's get into it.
It feels like a bit of a holding pattern, really, doesn't it? You know, like all the same problems are still there, but there's just no real subtle changes that are going on. So keep trucking. So
I'm going to upset your mood by being grumpy, mate.
Yeah, no, look, that's what we want, isn't it? We want a difference of opinions.
I've had a shocking week over it.
Really?
No.
Look,
there's been no football either, so.
I know, mate. I know. Just lots going on, and yeah, it's not really getting any relief with the football, is it? I guess that's
it's
one
not
of the big issues.
So look, before we sort of go off on a tangent, we've got Brentford. It is Tuesday morning, Australia time, which you know, it's Thursday night now, so it's a long way off, but. It's a game that on paper should be winnable, but I was reading some stats before. So Brentford have beat us in the 5 league games that we've played them, which are the only top flight games we've ever played them. So they've won a lot. Ivan Toney's back to fucking scoring goals. It looks like a game that we should be winning, and a game that has come at the right time for us. But I'm not confident.
We shouldn't be, mate. I mean, we're playing like shit. And you just said it for yourself. They've beaten us 5 times so far. They're an absolute bogey team for us. Home away. Ivan Toney's come back. He's scoring goals. We can't find the net. Mate, what is there to be optimistic about? And usually I am optimistic.
I was just going to say, you've called it early, Dave. You're normally
the show with me. I'm going to be the grumpy one. But this one, it's like Brighton, isn't it? It's like it's one of those horrible curly games.
They both start with B and second letters R. So I don't know if that's got anything to do with it, but it's a funny thing though, right? Because I was just looking before. They're sitting 14th. They've won 1 in their last 5, Wolves away, and every other game they've lost. So, and it's been Spurs, Liverpool, and Man City twice. But every time they've still managed to score in every game. So they're definitely. And it looks. Oh, sorry, I thought we just lost each other then. So yeah, like it is. I don't like coming up against them because I think Frank's actually got Moyes' number more than anything. I think. Yeah,
well, I think most managers have. To be fair, he's in good company there, isn't
he? Yeah.
And then I suppose team-wise, we're not really expecting. And Paquetá's not back, is he? For Tuesday that we know of.
I don't think so. No. Yeah.
So we've got the same selection problem we've had every week for the last sort of 6 or 7 weeks. Any changes you'd make? Not that it fucking matters because we're going to get beat anyway.
Well,
but any changes, we'll go through the motions.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's definitely a forced changes, and I think that's what Dave was saying there. With the midfield Roberto, he's not allowed to play next week, so that'll just mean potato salad comes back in. Fucking yeehaw. One positive that you could sort of say, really, like Antonio's had another week under his belt where he's fit, and so hopefully, he can turn it on. But fuck, I'm clutching at straws there, aren't I? If that's
Look, there is a couple of comments. I'll just flash them up. So there's one here from Matt. Matt was actually online before we started, raring to go. So appreciate your enthusiasm, Matt. Alan's we flashed up before, said evening, good to see you, Alan. And he then said Tony must be licking his lips at the prospect of racing Zuma or facing Zuma, whichever way it works.
Would be much of a fucking race.
He could get a hat trick because Moyes will set up with the usual suspects. I think that's a big fear from everyone. I was thinking about the possible central defensive partnerships. Whichever two we go with, I'd be scared of any of them facing Tony. So yeah, I think that's fair enough. There's a comment here from Kingy.
Fucking hell, who's this bloke?
So he's in New Zealand. It's 10:30 night. It's either the night of the wedding or the night before. So he must be pissed. Evening, Kingy. Good of you to join us. He says, evening, gents, and everyone in the chat. Moyes out. Gets that out of the way straight away. It's his fault I can't get to sleep. Keep waking up from the nightmares of 6-0s. And he then goes on to say, losing to a bus stop in Hounslow will be a great end to the tenure of Moyes. Look, I think if we were guaranteed that he'd lose his job if we lost on Tuesday, that there might be a conflict of interest going there. But we know it's not going to happen. So thanks for the comments. Keep them coming in. And we have had quite a few new subscribers over the last sort of week or so. So if anyone is online and watching for the first time, thank you. Thank you for joining. Like and subscribe if you haven't. And keep the comments coming in. We want it to be fun and interactive. And you're sure you get sick of listening to us talk the same old shit every week. So let us know what you want.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's
speaking of talking about the same old shit, nothing's really happened since Monday, has it? So we gave you 40 minutes to talking shit on Monday. So
but time is a great healer, isn't it? The fact that nothing has happened, the fact that we haven't lost 3-0 again, we haven't lost 6-0 again. You gradually start to, I don't know, feel a little bit better because you're not subjected to the shit. It is numbness. I like an idiot. I was looking at the league table before, thinking if results go our way and we can nick a win, we might, we'll be in a better position. And then I just thought, just don't do it to yourself. Just don't even bother trying to look upwards and forwards because the fans are the only ones doing it. The club are. And until that changes, we can fucking live in cloud cuckoo land and think realistically we're going to challenge for that top 6, even top 4. There's no ambition to do it, and that's quite clear and evident.
I think the sad part about it is, I was going to say, like, it's just, we're just in a holding pattern. We're waiting for something to happen. The season to end and Moyes' contract, like, it's just all right. We're not giving him a new contract, or he fucks it up royally in the next couple of games and he gets sacked. It's not really a great deal to look forward to, is there? It's just fucking misery. And like, even if we score a goal, we're going to leak 2 or 3.
I've just seen a comment from Kingy.
I know. I was just reading that.
Said we were going to keep it upbeat and fun because the football's sharp, so we don't want to talk about it. Right, Dave, where's your missus? Mine's in bed. So, question. We'll put it to you, Nath. Shag, marry, or avoid Moyes, Brady, or Sullivan?
Jesus Christ. So you do one for each of them, do you?
One for each.
Jesus Christ. Well,
I'm not shagging Miles O'Sullivan.
No,
so
me
Brady-
neither. I'm not that way inclined. Like, I mean, the midget might have a few moves to teach me, but fuck. Oh, Jesus. But mate, you, unfortunately, you have to shag Brady. But I think there'd be 2 bags in the room, one for my head, just in case hers come off. But the rest of it, no, fuck them. I'm not committing to the rest of that shit.
No. Dave, what about you?
I think her head's the least of your worries, mate. To be quite honest.
It's too
If she's as tight as Sullivan's purse strings, mate, it could be fun.
Anyway.
Well, if she's as loose as her mouth, then fuck.
Well,
Could be running around in circles. Fuck that.
Oh,
No,
man.
thank you.
this has gone downhill fast, boys.
Yeah, for
It
real.
really has, isn't it? If
Better
you
than
have
the
only
football.
joined this week and you're watching for the first time,
Yeah.
go back and look at some of the older shows. They're a bit more serious. Right.
Are they?
Kieran, good day, chaps. Good to see you, Kieran. Graham Walt. I've not seen that name before.
No, I don't think so.
No, I think it's a new
how
one.
are you, mate?
Thanks for joining, Graham. The Arsenal game was my first ever Hammers game. Picked a cracker. Wow.
You poor
That's
bastard.
yeah.
Don't go to any more, please, Graham.
Yeah.
Look, mate, if you're still here and you're still keen, then good on you.
Wasn't the Fulham game your daughter's first one too, Dave?
The Fulham, no, Spurs away.
Spurs away was it? All right.
That
So
was
she
her first
peaked and
away
then
game.
went downhill real quick.
No, I didn't take her to Fulham, mate. I went to 5 games and she went to the 4 wins. I took my son to Fulham and I was taking him to Man United and I took my daughter instead because she was better luck.
Mate, you should have left her there by the sound of things.
Yeah, I know, right?
That was pretty much the start of our downfall, wasn't it? When you came home from your family
When I came home, yeah.
Yeah.
And you came home early.
Away. Yeah.
Yeah, well done, Dave.
Someone want to read
Go
that
fund me
one
and
out?
send me back. I'll be happy. Matt Rooney. So I love Antonio, but he can't start Monday night due to lack of squad depth. I would play, I assume.
Yeah, 4-3-3, false 9. Yeah. Yeah. And was it Mo was the centre forward, centre attack, with Cornet left, Bowen on the right, Edison, JWP, Souček, same back 4, but Johnson as a right back.
See, I don't actually mind that.
I would not
to be
have
honest.
Cornet anywhere near the team.
No, I agree. What in terms of the back 4? Because I've got very little confidence in any of them at the moment.
Yeah.
Who would you pick? I think Emerson's the only one that's nailed on.
Yeah. Emerson is probably the only one that is a guarantee there. I still think what's his name, Mavropanos or even O'Bonnell, like give him a crack. You know, like if O'Bonnell's fit, you know he's going to put in a decent shit. He's not quick, but you know, I think Mavropanos is probably surprisingly quick.
I was actually thinking along those lines that you know, O'Bonnell, you can trust him to come in for a game. He's not afraid to get stuck in, and you know he'd be happy just to go in there and make it difficult for Tony, and then bring Mavropanos in for a bit of pace. I'm not his biggest fan, but I'm also not Gerd's biggest fan, and as much as Zuma's been decent, he just looks shot to pieces at the moment.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind if he mixed it up completely and went Emerson, Mavropanos, Ogbonna, and Johnson. Yeah. You know what harm can it do? Honestly,
I'll try to keep a straight face for that comment you just put up on the screen.
Yeah, that was a good one. Thanks for that, Matt. Appreciate your feedback. Here's another one from Gary. Avoid Moyes, shag Brady, marry Sullivan, divorce him 1 minute after, get all his money, then buy a West Ham.
I think if I was pushed, that would be the option I'd go with as well. I was thinking that I'd marry the dwarf because you've got to find an advantage out of it, haven't you?
Yeah, that's
At
right.
least he's got money, eh?
Yeah, that's it.
And judging from that last comment, he likes being pegged too. So there's an added bonus for you, mate.
It's high on your priority list, Matty.
Oh, fucking hell.
That's gold. That's gold. You see,
No,
Mandy's
Gold
joining us
died
for
a
the
couple of
first
years ago,
time.
sadly.
That's true.
Good evening, Mandy.
Good to see you.
Mandy.
Thanks for joining us.
I
Cheers.
hope that's a joke. You've watched us before, surely.
Gee, she
I
picked a
don't
good
think she
time.
has, to be honest.
Yeah. Right.
Mm.
Jesus Christ, we got to get this back on track, boys. This is what
We do. See, you know, he's just thrown an hand grenade and he's probably gone to sleep now. So to clarify, if anyone's listening instead of watching, Kieran's just commented that he'd fucked a lot of them, Moyes, Brady, and Sullivan. So look, Kieran, you're welcome to the lot of them, and we'll leave that there before we get any further down that slippery
on to
slope.
the pressing decision of who you're playing at right back.
Because we're just not sure.
Yeah.
So who would you put right back?
We've run
Sullivan,
out of,
Brady, or Moyes?
well, we've run out of positions for Sullivan, Moyes, and Brady. So right back, I think personally I'll go with Soufal. I know a couple of people have said Johnson, but I think we need to have a go at them and get some crosses in. And we know that Johnson can't fucking. I won't even say who he can and can't find, but he can't get across the ball into the box. That's for sure. And it's Soufal for all his faults, shall we say? He gets the ball in the box and at least creates some opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get. We do need to go out and get forward. We also need to stop losing by so many fucking goals. First of all, I think we're clutching at straws really with any selection. We've tried a few. Moyes hasn't got a clue what he's doing. So does it really matter who we put out? It's going to be the same old shit, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely is.
All right. Comment from Matt Rainey. He says, oi, good to see you, Matt. Thank you very much. Kieran and Kingy look like they're having a private conversation. Alan said, enjoy your holiday, Kingy. Ben H. Good evening, Ben. I reckon the Russian dwarf gets pegged by Brady. Yeah. There's not many football-related comments in there.
No, you got to scroll down for a bit, mate, before you find some of it getting back to...
Is pegging not a valid football tactic, then? It can't do any worse than the current tactics, could it?
No. Well,
we don't have any, mate. We don't fucking have any.
Ricky Jordan. Good evening, Ricky. I'm going to read this and see where it goes. Circus Sullivan is, once Moyes gets the boot, he will employ out-of-work Frank Lampard or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and the whole pantomime starts all over again. Fucking hell, you could see it happening, couldn't you?
No.
Especially with Ollie.
Sorry,
I could see it with Ollie,
ridiculous.
not
with
them.
Ollie, not with Frank, but you could see it.
Neither of them are coming anywhere near our club, mate. Frank Lampard is not welcome and he wouldn't want to turn up. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I just don't think he's had his day, hasn't he?
Who do you reckon? Gary O'Neill?
Gary O'Neill, yeah. Look, at the moment, do a lot worse, couldn't you? But
you got to give him credit. I reckon he's doing a bang job at Wolves. He really is. I
thought he did all right at Bournemouth too.
He did do well at Bournemouth.
Yeah, he did.
You know
but they went out and got someone more. I was going to say they went out and got someone more attacking, didn't they? Because they deemed that Gary O'Neill was too defensive. So is that the style of manager that we want to be getting in currently? I wouldn't have thought so.
No, but when they go past us in the league this weekend or next weekend, and he waves at us as he leaves us in the rearview mirror, he'll probably be feeling pretty smug. Look, given the choice of him or Moyes at the moment, I'd take him. But given the choice of Moyes and anyone at the moment, I'd take him. So,
Matty, did we give up on naming the rest of the team then? Because we got through the back four and that was that. Or is it just a given that we're going to have the 3 or 4 defensive midfielders and that's that? Pretty much picks itself, doesn't it?
I think I summarised by saying it doesn't matter who we put out there; it's all the same old shit. But look, for
I think so.
Clarity, we'll go through and we'll talk about the team. Yeah, so that's my back four anyway. Emerson, Ogbonna, Mavropanos, and Johnson. What do you think, Dave? What do you think?
I'd go with that back line. I think the attacking three for me has got to be Antonio. Look, he's not sharp at the minute, but let's get him in. He's probably got more to offer than Cornet, and I think Bowen and Kudus are going to take the wide positions to start with, and he might rotate them around a bit like he did the other day. And I think you'll find those 3 midfield positions will just get filled up with the regular Souček, James Ward-Prowse, and Alvarez, aren't they?
Yeah,
it's unfortunate, but I do tend to agree with you. It couldn't get much worse, right? It couldn't get much worse, but with the last performance he put in, I wouldn't mind seeing Ings get another chance in that 10 role, because I think he's creative enough to feed off of people like Antonio, but I can't see it happening. He'll probably get a run around the 92nd minute. So just when we're down 4-1, he's like, "Go on, get out there and have a go, mate."
Yeah, I think now Antonio's back, you've got to use him because we haven't got anybody else. You know, and we've been saying certainly since the start of this show and for years and years that we've needed somebody else instead of or as well as, and we haven't. We're back to this exact same situation of Antonio's fit or even half fit, and he goes in the team. But yeah, I don't know. It's not. The whole team just looks destroyed at the moment, doesn't it? You know,
yeah.
But Bowen's not doing anything. Kudus looks frustrated. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Andy Imp. I thought that said Andy Impey for a minute.
Yeah, I know.
You don't look like.
He don't look like him, though, does he?
So he's agreed with what we said about the back four. As has Kingy, he's happy with that as well. And I think that's the comment that we had up from.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's very, very similar to what we're really saying there, isn't it? With everyone in that lineup there. Yeah. Yeah, not too many different ones there.
I just do not want Cornet to start. I don't even want him coming on, to be honest. I just don't think he's got the right strength for the Premier League. He's looked terrible every time he's come on for us, really.
A couple of people saying hello here. George Kerr, good day, Irons Down Under. Good to see you, George. Thanks for joining, mate. Darren Higgins, evening, Darren. Thanks for joining us again. Yeah, there's quite a lot of comments coming through. Actually, I'll try and keep them up. George has said Moyes out now, so pretty clear on where he stands.
You sure that's not Kingy
a bit more clarification? Oh dear, Ricky Jordan. Whose masterclass will we see, Antonio or Tony? The only similarity there is Tonio sounds a little bit like Tony, but I don't think he's going to give him a run for his money any other way, is he? But yeah,
probably not.
It's a big worry, isn't it? Tony's current form, and having been out so long for them, they've clearly missed him, and they've lost a few games in their last 5, as you said, but they're all against big teams. And I've heard, although I didn't see the game, I've heard they had a very good game against Man City. Looked pretty slick. So look, they're not a good side for us to face, and Tony's on fire, and I heard he's got a bet on too. So odds on it.
We're fucked.
I genuinely, they'll be coming into this game seeing it as a real winnable game for them, and they're not out of trouble themselves. I think they're only 5 points out of the relegation zone.
Yeah, so, they are. You're right.
They need to pick up wins. We don't, apparently. We only need 5. But whatever the fuck that comment was about. Yeah, I think. Look, I hope Antonio has a great game. I hope he scores a couple of blinding goals. But when was the last time that happened?
It's been a while.
Well, to be fair, he hasn't played 15 in the last 17 games or something. But,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, look, as I said before, we all know he does take a little bit of time to hit his straps, but hopefully he can get a little bit better. He just needs people around his feet more than anything, doesn't he? So at least take one out of the low block. Put one extra player up there with him, please. Do something different, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. So it's not going to happen, though, is it? So Andy says, as we will be mainly defending, you can't play Soufal. He's a total liability. Against Forest, he stood off so much he might as well have been left back. And that's the real frustrating thing, isn't it? You know, you think we're at home to Brentford, we won't be defending, but we will. So, you know, there is logic, and I think I think a lot of people really, really like Soufal as a you know, a player and as a person, and it's only because of his defensive. I was going to say lack of capabilities. You know, he's not as great defensively as you would like, and you know, but you should be able to carry that if your team is set up well enough, and it's not. So it's a shame, you know. I think it's sad that people are calling for it to be out of the team, myself included. But it just makes sense because we're getting absolutely turned over every week.
Yeah, he's definitely our weakness from now.
I was just going to say, look, where I'm coming from though, right, is that there's a distinct lack of chance creators in the side at the minute. Paquetá's out. We're playing a bunch of defensive players in the middle. Look, JWP should be creating chances, but maybe the role he's playing at the minute limits that to an extent. He's probably limited to creating corners, but at least Soufal can get up there and get that ball in the box and get something happening. That's where I'm coming from. I think, yeah, look, of course we're going to have to do some defending, and he's not the worst defender. Okay, look, he didn't have a great game against Forest, and the whole team's a little bit at fault at the moment. The defence has been pretty poor all over. I think we need something to get something happening and get some balls in the box.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I don't know. I can't see it coming from him. That's for fucking sure. There's just a comment here from Richard Kelty. What's your thoughts on this Kretinsky thing, guys? That he's not happy with all of the running of the club, etc. Do you think he could lead a takeover bid in the future? What do you reckon, Matty?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but him and Vanessa Gold have more combined than Sullivan, don't they?
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Well, he's either going to put up or pull out, isn't he? There are his only options. If he's not happy with it, he's either going to get out or he would look to take over. I don't know. I wish he would. I wish anybody would. But I don't know. Do you read into that he wants Moyes out?
I'm not sure, but I mean, I've heard that he was the one that got started in.
Because it wouldn't just be Sullivan's choice, would it? The decision would have to be made by the board, so there'd have to be sufficient.
Yeah, but he's probably got Vanessa Gold wrapped around his finger, isn't he?
Who, Sullivan?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Yeah. So what's
the roadblock then to Kretinsky purchasing more? I presume it's that Vanessa Gold's not prepared to sell, is it?
Well, there's got to be shares available, so.
But they're not going to sell. I think my read on it is unless Vanessa Gold decides to sell hers, that he's never going to be able to buy enough to become the majority shareholder.
Yeah.
Is that his
They've
intention?
got to be available, or the club needs to have offer up or need money for investment, which would then create more shares. So without either of those two things happening, it's pretty much going to be a stalemate. Someone's got to sell, or they need money, which means instead of the share portfolio going from 100 to 150, then you can own more that way.
We should get Vanessa Gold on, find out if she's as sick of watching this brand of football as we are. Get people talking in the comments. We'll sweet talk her for an hour, talk around, get her to sell her shares, and we could have this all wrapped up in a couple of weeks. We could have a new owner, new manager.
Would you reckon maybe putting the offer out for a bit of peggings, you know what I mean?
Well, just hit her with the hard questions first up. Who does she shag? Who does she marry? And who does she avoid? Then we'll get on to the financials.
She might take offence that she wasn't included in that question, though.
Good point.
Original pegging conversation.
Good question, though, Richard.
May have happened already. You never know, right?
There's another good question here from Matt. It says, thoughts on English media Muppets versus West Ham fans. In my opinion, they don't have a Scooby-Doo, nor do they live and breathe West Ham United. I think it's safe to say that our relationship with the majority of the English media is as bad as any team, certainly in the Premier League, because of the unfair reflection, I think, that we get, not just on this matter at the moment, but we have continually got for years and years and years, that we somehow think that, we're I don't know, we're aiming bigger than we should be. It pisses me off absolutely no end.
I don't think it really.
Well, I guess they're just taking it at face value, though, aren't they? I guess, Moyes is. You look at the statistics, and we always have this conversation, right? That it's more than just about statistics. But you look at it on paper. There's a couple of top half finishes in there. There's a trophy. And that's not something West Ham have been talked about an awful lot in the last 20 years. So that's where they're coming from. They're coming from purely what the hell do you expect as a club? You've not achieved any more than what you have under him over the last couple of years. So that's the way they see it. But, it's... you get all these bloody pundits ranting on Talk Sport and all that crap, right? And it is a bunch of bloody attention-seeking muppets anyway that are usually affiliated to bloody Spurs or Chelsea anyway, so they're just stirring the pot.
But and that's probably, you look at the flip side of that, and you take Spurs as an example. They've won football, and yet the narrative around them from the media is they're very close to winning. This is going to be their year every single fucking year. It's never their fans have deluded for thinking that they're going to win something when they haven't, when recent history at least, says they haven't. So it's a completely different angle that's put on their situation as it is to ours. I mean, that's just one example. I understand where Matt's coming from with the question. It irritates me probably more than it should.
Yeah.
If we're talking about Tottenham, though, they've been consistency a lot closer every year for the last 20 years than we have.
Failure, failure, wouldn't it? Don't mind if you come second or 20th.
It's fucking beautiful.
I know, exactly right. And that's why we get to laugh at them and, occasionally go and win at their place and stick it up them, which is always amusing, especially when there's an Aussie manager that goes over there and everyone's touting him left, right and centre over here. It's satisfying to knock that down a peg or two. But, in all honesty, the reason the media get behind them and go, they're almost there, is because they have been almost there a very long time, but consistently so. Whereas we have like a couple of seasons where we're almost there and then we fade off again and get a 16th or, that's the way of our history. We flirt with a little bit of success and then, end up back down in the shit again, which is where we find ourselves a little bit now.
You're talking far too much sense, Dave.
Sorry.
Let's move on.
Right. Who wants to read that one?
Go on, Dave.
Ben H. I feel we're on the verge of taking this club to the next level with Steidten, or fucking the whole thing up, keeping Moyes and losing our best players. Yeah, look, I think a lot of people feel like that. So I know Ryan certainly does. I don't know where Steiden's head is at the minute. He mentioned that Liverpool link and said they hadn't been in contact, but why are you going to say anything else, to be honest? Like, okay, they haven't been in contact, but all the links are there. If Alonso was to go there and, it seems like an obvious matchup that they'd come in for him. So whether or not getting rid of Moyes now changes that situation, I don't know. Does it make that move any less attractive for him? I doubt it.
He's just got to fucking go. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, it really is. Will Doyle, evening Will. So Will says he put 5 at the back to try to stop us conceding so many goals, but we don't have 3 good centre backs. What we could do though is we could go 5 at the back and play 3 holding midfielders and basically play an 8.
8 at the back.
Getting through.
It's funny though, like because
headed.
Yeah, you go back to when they came to Australia, right? And both games they set up as a 3-5-2, and we actually looked all right. That was my opinion from what I remember of the 2 games. But we've never gone back there at all, and it would probably suit Ogbonna to sit in between either Mavropanos and Aguerd, or Zuma and Aguerd. I think it's worth trying. And to be honest with you, I'm very surprised that Moyes has been that fucking stubborn and reluctant not to try, because it's not like we've never played in that way.
Frees up Soufal as well if he's playing in the right sort of wing back position.
Sure does.
Gives him more cover.
Yeah.
George Kerr, I'd give Michael Carrick a chance. What are your thoughts on Carrick?
I don't know how I feel about that. I was thinking about that this week. Like he had a bit of an initial good run there, didn't he, up at Middlesbrough? But he's really struggling this season to get any consistency going with him. It's a tough one. There's obviously the emotional attachment for him with a link to the club, and we do like to bring in ex-players in to do the job. So
I always find it amazing how much credibility he's actually put on that sort of emotional attachment, if you like, or previous dealings with somebody. Because if that wasn't Michael Carrick, if that was just somebody else managing that Middlesbrough team, no one would be looking at him. It's not like he's setting the world on fire. Is it a romantic idea or notion that Carrick could come back and manage the club one day? Well, yeah, but it's the same as Gerrard and Liverpool. I mean, you wouldn't let Gerrard you wouldn't let him manage West Ham at the moment.
We started managing that Villa, didn't he? Missed that up a treat.
Yeah, and he's over in Saudi Arabia now, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, he got sacked, didn't he?
Did he get sacked there?
Yeah, he's lost his job already. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Good enough. He's probably robbing houses while he was over there.
Stealing our caps.
Here we go. So Matt says our next 5: Brentford at home, Everton away, Burnley home, Villa home, Newcastle away. I only see 4 points through that. What do you reckon, lads? Ooh. Give us your total.
Where are you getting 4 from?
I think what's even more important there is, Matt, how many of those teams have you got an irrational hatred for?
So, do you know, funnily enough, right, I don't have that much against Brentford.
There's not a lot of history there between us, is there?
No, and Everton are probably the lesser of 2 evils. But Burnley just they're not even on my radar. I hate Villa and I hate Newcastle passionately. So
yeah, I don't love Everton very much, to be honest.
I'd love to get some wins there, but you're looking at those fixtures, right? I actually think we're going to draw on Tuesday. I think we will pick up a point. Everton, I don't think we'll get anything. I think we'll beat Burnley, and I think we'll lose to Villa and Newcastle. So, yeah, 4 points.
4 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I'd be wanting to get something out of Villa at home to be honest. Whether we do or not is another matter. Look, Brentford, we may have one of those surprise games. You know, if Kudus has good form and can stick the ball in the net a couple of times, maybe we will get something. But you know, at the moment, it doesn't feel like that, does it?
No,
it doesn't.
We're not playing enough to change things around, you know. But yeah,
so,
I mean,
so
four points out of those five games is really fucking disgusting by comparison to how we actually started the year, isn't it? But I agree.
Moyes might be happy with that, though. That might be what he's targeting. That's
one point away from safety, then, isn't he?
Yeah. So Ricky's obviously not feeling too optimistic because he's asking, what minute do you think the crowd will get pissed off and walk out the stadium again? Probably after Ivan Toney's put his third goal in just after half time.
Yeah.
I think when we're 2-0 down at half time, everyone will stick around. But when he puts the third in, probably around the 50th minute, everyone will fuck off to the pub.
Yeah. It didn't even take till half time last time game, did it? So there's a lot of comments here, so I'll flick through a few of them. Matt Rainey says that we still haven't replayed Craig Dawson. Yeah, we could do with someone like him. Will Doyle is saying that he deserves to be an honorary Cockney. Couldn't agree with that more.
We didn't want to hang around, did he? So I don't know about that one.
Matt's saying that he didn't think he got his medal. If so, that's wrong. He must be talking about the conference.
No, he did. Yeah. I think he did get the medal, but he wasn't. They didn't really make a big deal of it. And George Kerr. Doesn't matter what the fans want. Moyes will pick the same shit team and use the same shit tactics. I think that's where I was coming from earlier when I started going through the team and then gave up because what does it matter really? I hope it does. I do feel bad for. I feel bad for the players. You know, I hope that things turn around for theirs. You look at Bowen and Kudus at the moment, and all right, you could point at them and say, well, they're not doing it, but they're not doing it because they're not being given an opportunity to. Everything is just on the floor. So I hope, and see, even scraping a win on Tuesday or scraping a point, to me, it's not going to be enough. You know, we'd really need to go out and actually play really, really well, win convincingly, to change the sort of not the thinking, because I think everyone is at a point where we know that change is needed. Just to get a bit of enthusiasm for the season again.
We definitely need a spark, that's for sure.
I
think you alluded to Kudus and Bowen. Like, I think with Bowen, right, is he's feeding off scraps at the minute. He's not getting any decent service. I think that's the major problem with Bowen, is he's not going to do it on his own. And I think, you know, Kudus absolutely got pocketed last weekend by Nico Williams. And, you know, Moyes moved him about a bit and he had a little bit more joy on the other side, but he's got to lift his game this weekend, especially being at home, and he could well do it, right? I think hopefully he links up well with Alvarez, and him seem to have a good bit of chemistry, and if he gets going with Bowen, then something could happen for us. We need a bit of a spark like that at the moment, don't we? Something to just get move.
Yeah. But do you think Bowen needs to be in the middle there to sort of create with him, and then put Antonio out on the other side?
Yeah, look, I would have Antonio on the wing, but I don't think it's going to happen in the first instance. I think he'll start with Antonio there. But look, he showed against Forest that he will move it about if he needs to, and I think that's the joy of the three of them, that is they can be moved around in that front three.
Yeah, good point.
Nico Mang Tuk. Evening. Thanks for joining us.
He's back.
As always. He's made a revolutionary statement here. We need to start scoring goals. We do. For me, it's Johnson right back, Bowen on the right, Curtis in the number 10, Antonio on the left, Ings, forgive me for saying, as the striker.
Mm.
Do you know what? Why not? Why not? You know, at least there's something there that could work.
I'd
I've
go with that.
seen,
It's never going to happen.
Yeah, I've seen worse shouts than that.
Yeah. Mm.
George Kerr, he's got Zuma as a cripple. He's just a liability. Say how it is. Yeah, look, he's not been great the last 6 or 7 games, has he? Michael Carrick plays attacking football. He's doing a good job with very little resources. Yeah, I think we touched on that, right? He did. He was doing very, very well last season. This season, he's struggling a little bit. It remains to be seen if he can make that step up and do something at a club like West Ham. Maltese Hammer's kind of saying he wouldn't take Carrick. So, yeah, I think the jury's out on that one.
Here's an interesting one from Kingy, though. I don't know if any of you guys heard. I think Tuchel's said he's finishing up at the end of this year.
Yeah, well, he's not done the job at Bayern, is he? So,
no,
again,
I'm not sure I'd want him.
I don't know. He's not a bad manager, but he's not exactly done the job at the clubs he's been at, has he? He didn't really bring the success to the Paris Saint-Germain that they demanded. Chelsea obviously got rid of him from a fairly mediocre position. Okay, they're a bit of a basket case because they've got in Pochettino.
He won the Champions League, didn't he? But didn't he win the Champions League? And
actually,
then
he
just
did.
before
he did win
they
the
sold
Champions
up.
League.
He was in.
He hasn't really gone on from that, has he?
He was in 2 consecutive finals,
back
wasn't
then.
he? One with PSG and then one with Chelsea.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'd forgotten that he actually had won the Champions League with Chelsea. So that that was a very harsh sacking in the end when you look at that.
Was he in the FA Cup final that year as well against Liverpool, and then they lost on penalties? Was that year?
Yeah, possibly.
Probably.
Yeah, not 100%.
But I'm just thinking anything other than a title win at Bayern Munich's a failure, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
it is.
But they've had an injection of Spurs, haven't they? So you've got to pay it with that.
Yeah.
Like I'd take him, mate. I would take him.
I think I probably would too. You look at what else is out there. You could certainly do a lot worse. I'd take him. I wouldn't be 100% convinced that it would work, but fuck, it's going to be better than what we've got at the moment.
Yeah.
So Matt says Tuchel or Xabi Alonso.
Alonso ain't coming.
Yeah,
I think he's just gone. Like we're going to, as I said a couple of earlier shows, we're going to be competing against Liverpool at the end of the year, aren't we? So it's going to be tough if Xavi wants to move on, and it's us or Liverpool. Might not be a race that we can win there. So.
Interesting comment here from Michael Blees. It says, if Tim gets his way, Tuchel next season, he was going to sign for Chelsea to work with Tuchel until he got sacked. That's interesting. I wasn't aware of that. If that's true. Did you boys know that? I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know much about that one. So,
I guess the connections there, both German and, he'd know a lot about him, I'm sure.
If that's the case, that probably, in my mind, adds a bit more weight to that making sense. There's a bit of structure there from the off, and if if the managers are aligned with Tim and things are moving in the same direction, it's only our chairman that's going to fuck it up.
Yeah. Probably the other one that we haven't talked about is wedged in the middle there from Will. I'd take Tuchel, Potter, or Carrick in a heartbeat. So I don't know. What do you guys think about?
I really don't want Potter. I really don't want Potter. I don't think he is the right manager for us. I think he was obviously catastrophic at Chelsea. Didn't bring them what they demanded. I know you can say, well, other people have been there and been shit, but that was the beginning of the downfall for them in their current slump. I think he basically inherited a very, very well run football team at Brighton, right? They chew through different managers, but they have the same consistent setup going through. They bring decent young players through the ranks and they turn them into well beaters. And they go on and sign a Chelsea for 100 million and turn shit again, which is great.
Yeah. I've just scrolled down a little bit further there, and Bazzy is saying, how about developing the youth setup? Moyes disregards our lads, Potts, Robson, and other development first team coaches have no input at all. The club needs a new direction. I tend to agree with that. With all the talk about these kids, where are they? Why aren't they getting that crack? And you'd like to think that maybe a little bit more of a progressive manager would actually be would be looking into that a little bit more, wouldn't you?
You would, yeah. And that's one of the frustrations with Moyes, that he seems to have completely stifled that whole line of potential. We don't know whether those guys would have made it or not, because they've never really been given a shot. Yeah,
it's true, isn't it? And this is a good point that Michael raised as well. No one wants Potter. He's been available for a long time. It's very true, and he hasn't got another sniff at another club. So, yeah.
I said my piece on him. I'll stand by that.
Yeah. How you doing, Ken? I haven't seen you down here for a while, but thanks for joining us again. Sullivan will sign a yes man to take over, I think. It's a fair point, and history would say that's what we've had, right?
Well, it's interesting to see he doesn't think Tim will have a say, just a hunch. Yeah, look, that would be disappointing, wouldn't it? I mean, if you've brought that technical director in who's proven very, very good, then you'd like to think that if we were going to change managers, then you'd be getting someone compatible.
Yeah, it was Graham Walt saying he thinks the rumour is that Tuchel's going to go to Barca. I haven't heard that one, but Yeah, I honestly don't know enough about Arnie Slot or Ruben Amorim. Is that how you say it? Do you guys know too much about them, or?
He's one of the Portuguese fellas, isn't he? I don't know where. I think he's at Sporting. I don't know a great deal about him. I know Sporting are up near the top of the league, but there's nothing new there. No, not a great deal about him at all. But I'd take him.
Yeah. I don't know how I missed this before. This is from Ben. This is fucking quality. Do you want to read that one, Dave?
Ben H, I reckon Moyes has a foot fetish. Fucking loves the taste of the feet.
That's brilliant.
That's comment of the night. That's fucking funny. Well done.
That was hurting my brain before I even got there. Anyway, nice.
Thanks for reading that out, Dave. You did really well.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Right. Where are we up to with? There's
down the bottom here somewhere. So I'm just trolling through at the moment here.
Yeah, thank you very much. We can't get to every comment because there is just too many. But look, keep them coming. Really appreciate it.
We're fucking slow readers, so we'd be here for fucking 3 hours if we tried to read it all through.
So Chris Coy here, he's saying, is anyone surprised Sullivan is still hanging around the club? I sort of thought he'd have sold up by now, especially after the summer. Yeah. Look, there was always rumours that 2023 was the year that that he could turn a better profit on the club and he'd be tempted to move on. I wonder, given the amount of stick that he does get, whether he's genuine or not. Why would you hang around unless there's money to be made or you're enjoying it? You wouldn't think that he's enjoying it all that much at the moment. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, we were talking about the shareholdings earlier on, and the chances of Kretinsky getting a majority shareholding. It would take either the Goal family to sell up what they've got, or Sullivan to finally get fucked off of it all and hand it in. But he'll be expecting a lot of money for it, I'm sure.
Yeah, he will. Where were we?
So No, that's all right. I was going to say we're coming up to an hour soon, so we'll probably start to look to wrap it up. We'll go through a few more comments, and then we might do a bit of a predictions for Tuesday's game, and a very quick couple of minutes on the Europa League draw as well.
Yeah, and just to finish it off then, Alan Dunn, so Arnie Slot is a Feyenoord manager who knocked back Spurs last season, but he looked at their record and decided against it because he wanted to win something. Well, fucking come on in, Arnie. Come on in. So, yeah. So what do you think about so we got the Europa draw, so we'll find out.
Second legs
tomorrow.
are tonight during the night, aren't they?
Yeah.
Look, I'll be honest. I want AC Milan because I think this is likely to be our last game in Europe. But yeah, to me, the romance of that fixture is what it's all about. I'd rather that and go out gracefully than get a team that we should be beating on paper and fucking lose. So that's where I'm at with it. I don't know what your thoughts are.
To be honest, in saying that, it's not like we'll definitely lose to AC Milan, mate. Like it's
Dave, we're going to lose to everyone.
Come on. No, look, seriously though, they're a team that we should be sort of given a good game, and I think we would if we played them. I think when you look at everyone else in that competition, there's teams you definitely want to avoid. You don't want to be playing Liverpool. You don't want to be playing Leverkusen. I don't think we can get them in the next round anyway because of the way it's seeded. But it certainly could be open to one of those in the following round. But there's no easy team, is there? They're all looking pretty tricky. So why not have a classic like European powerhouse like AC Milan? We've not won one bunch of Italians off their perch, so bring on the next lot.
Yeah, I guess if you look at it from that perspective, and you just want to have a really big game, it's got to be Milan or Roma or maybe even Marseille. They're probably the
Marseille would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, or Galatasaray. That'd be a pretty eventful game, wouldn't it? So
I don't fancy Marseille. I don't want that tie. I don't think that can end well for us in any way, shape, or form. I think we go out there. There'll be blood spilt on the streets because it's a nasty place.
It is.
And you know they'll be well up for it. Yeah, I just don't fancy that tie.
Yeah. Would you take Roma?
Yeah, look, Roma's a good tie. Tricky tie. Is Marino still there, or has he gone?
No, he got the arse. He got the arse. But they're playing Feyenoord, and their aggregate score at the moment it was 1-1. So
it's a draw.
There's every chance that it could. Yeah. Or even Sporting. That'd be an interesting one as well.
If you end up in Rome, Kingy, make sure you don't get stabbed in the arse.
Stabbed in the arse.
Yeah, they fucking ride round on scooters, don't they? Slashing your arse as they drive past.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, word of warning for anyone going over there if we get them.
Can't say it's ever happened to me when I've been in Rome, but
the fucking dirty old shithole.
Is that the rest of the sentence of the saying? Is it when in Rome you get slashed in the arse? I never realised that was the rest of it.
You don't read enough, right?
No, clearly not.
So Tuesday morning is the Brentford game. Very quickly, Nath, win, lose or draw?
Mate, I reckon it's going to be 1-1.
Dave?
2-2.
2-2 and 1-1 from me.
2-2.
So,
fucking hell. Who's scoring, Dave?
Kudus, mate. Brace from Kudus. And, you know, that man Tony's going to get on the score sheet somehow or another, isn't he?
Yeah.
I just hope we've got some spunkiness, to be honest, because, you know, they like to roll us 2-0 at our place. That seems to be a common theme. So I hope we've got something about us.
Yeah. Time will tell, hey? Time will tell.
It will.
Yeah.
It will. Look, thank you for the chat, gents. That was a good laugh.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to everyone who has watched, who's commented. It's been great. We've had a lot of people watching.
It's been fun.
A load of comments. We can normally keep up with them, but we've not had a chance tonight. I can see there's some predictions coming through now. 3-1 Brentford, 2-1 Brentford, 4-0 Brentford.
Yeah.
So it's the optimism isn't there, and for very good reason. But we love West Ham, and we don't want to see them lose. We are just being realistic about the way things are at the moment. And I, for one, hope that we go out there and smash them.
Now, what are we doing on Tuesday, lads? Are we doing a pub show? We're going to do a live and interactive on Tuesday night.
I'm easy. I could do either.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose it's what I think it makes sense. We normally do the pub show on Monday, as everybody knows. But we'll do the pub show on Monday, and it'll be before the game, so it seems a little bit pointless. So I think we do a show Tuesday, and we decide whether we do it online, interactive. We could do, or we do it in the pub. But we'll do something. Yeah, we will. All right. I'm sure there was a comment that came up that said Dave Rhodes is a hobbit. It's gone. I don't know what happened to it.
Nice.
Anyway,
right. Thanks for joining us, lads.
You must have been on the whiskies.
Must have been. Yeah.
Nice one. One thing left to say, lads.
Come on,
you irons.